Hey, this is your buddy Devon, aka Dreamy Kong from the Phantom Effect podcast. We would like to take a minute to thank our most outlandish sponsor, Zicky Dice. The megastar is ready to show you some things you've never witnessed before. Me and Mark personally took a bump for our audience to bring you this enormous entertainer right to your device. If you would like to see everything that our outlandish Zicky Dice has to offer, check out at Zicky Dice on Twitch and Twitter and become one sexy lizard.
And welcome back, everyone, to another edition of the Fan Effect podcast. As always, I am your sure to anything you're going to want to know in this side of the multiverse. Yeah, let's go with that one this week. The Bushido
you
Geek.
suck. You can't beat me, man. Come on.
You can't do the controls. Joined, unfortunately. And welcome back, everyone, to another edition of the Fan Effect podcast. As always, I am your Sherpa to Fandom, your guide to anything you're going to want to know in this side of the multiverse. Yeah, let's go with that one this week. The Bushido
you
Geek.
suck. You can't beat me, man. Come on.
You can't do the controls. Joined,
suck.
unfortunately. Hey.
God, screw this. I'm done.
You've already lost. Okay, we got to record now.
I'm so done with these players, man. I can't stand it.
Okay, everyone sucks. All right. You're never gonna get good, so you might as well just delete the game.
I can't stand it anymore.
I would just delete the game because you're kind of useless. If I doubt anyone caught this, but we want to do a little bit of a riff we've talked about it before about us debuting like new segments, like we have like the anime and comic and stuff, like we can sprinkle in with interviews and stuff. And we started thinking like the thing that separates us apart is we don't just like to talk about what's currently going on. We like to dive into the specific fandoms that people are passionate about and like really figure out like the different things about stuff. So we wanted to start hopefully a rarely used segment, but something that we feel like is important on toxic fandoms, breaching from everything, because there's not a ton, but there are definitely some, and it's worth going into this at least a little bit, talk about it. So today we're going to talk about a toxic fandom that me and Devon have both experienced, and is a reason why we both stopped playing the game in League of Legends.
Some say that
I'll let you jump in a little bit.
Some say the toxicity in that game is worse than a hooded cobra. Let's just put it that way. The salt that comes out of the players' mouths is ridiculous. And I have to say that it's not that it's in every tier, but it's majority in the lower tiered players for sure.
Yeah.
But for those who don't know what League of Legends is, best way we can describe it is...
What genre of game does it fall under? It's because it's the same as like what Dota.
Yeah, it was created by the same people, but League of Legends, commonly referred to as League, is a 2009 multiplayer online battle arena video game developed and published by Riot Games. Inspired by Defense of the Ancients, a custom map for Warcraft 3, Riot's founders sought to develop a standalone game in the same genre. Since its release in 2009, the game has been free to play and is monetized through purchasable character customizations. The game is available for Microsoft Windows and Microsoft OS. So,
yeah, and it's considered a team-based strategy game.
So basically, 2 teams of 5 try to take out the other team's towers. The
Nexus, towers, and then once you beat the Nexus, it you're done, and it's similar to like Dota 2. I mean, there's tons of games. Obviously StarCraft, probably one of the biggest. Smite, so like it's a huge franchise. Obviously, it's it's a popular franchise for a reason. League also is one of the games that really dove into, again, this isn't our main topic for today, but like League really dove into like loot boxes, like paying for champion skins and paying for champions and stuff like that, because you don't really earn a lot of points for the champions when you're playing the game. And I mean, there's a lot of great stuff about the game. That's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to obviously talk about the toxicity of the fandom with it. And so for me, it's the biggest times I've ever dealt with is whenever I did take breaks from the game, because I got up to like, I would say like lower plat level quality, and then I like got to that point where it was like you have to either dedicate all of your time to this game or just stop playing.
Right.
And when it was the people playing with it, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And then I had these games where people were like, I would try to playing a new champion, or I was trying to get better at top because I was really good at mid. And I was like so at top, and I was like, all right, well, I need a backup because mid's the most popular. I need a backup lane that I can play on ranked. If mid gets chosen, I chose top, and I didn't have a lot of champions, so Nasus top was like realistically the only thing I could do. And Nasus top is like middle level. Like there's worse people and there's way better people, and so I notably struggled like my first couple matches with them, and like literally would have people like just shouting at me to delete the game, and like, dude, how could you have gotten killed in that situation? And just like, I mean, like outwardly like telling me like, dude, you should just kill yourself. Like, how can you be this bad at this game? And like, it's not an uncommon story. I know you've had the same thing, but that was my breaking point, was when I got pretty good, didn't know what I wanted to do, and then that happened. It's been years since.
Well, you're also running the solo lanes where I would do most of my damage down in the bottom, and so I'd run support in EDC. And being down in the bottom, you have a lot more of like what they consider kiting, where it's shooting and running, shooting and running, shooting and running, and you have to be you have to make sure your skill checks are hitting the last hits. On minions, you have to make sure your skill checks are hitting the proper people. But the worst is you're trying different champions in a single lane. I was trying different lanes, and when I was trying to run jungle for a little bit, I had people just being so toxic and saying, like, where the heck are you? I'm top, I'm getting beat. And it's like, well, so it's bot lane, because bot lane's got, you're going to convert the 2-on-2 to 3-on-2, and they would be more, the top lane would get salty over it.
Yeah, if you missed, like, okay, if you were a jungler, or the jungle was coming down to help you or something, and you missed
an opportunity.
Yeah, like you missed or like you went to go back and the jungle was coming in to help you, or like, I mean, there's just so many examples, but like, I think it gets so bad where like people in ranked like will quit. I mean, like League is notoriously known as, like, in the gaming community, of just having like just a horrible like toxicity to it, unless you're just a really good player. Like, unless you're really good, like, I mean, I can't even imagine how many games, because I remember, I don't know if it's changed, but the way it used to be is turning off the in-game chat used to be really hard. Or like muting your players in team, because obviously you're supposed to communicate with people. So League made it, you had to like go into settings, go to options, go to like, it was like 4 or 5 steps to mute players. But I can't even tell you how many times I went into a game and had to mute my entire team. Yeah, because they were, even if it wasn't just against me, like even if I was having an okay game and they weren't saying a word to me, it'd be like 2 people yelling at like our support or our AD carry or whatever, and the entire team chat would just be filled with these 2 guys yelling at the third guy, and the third guy yelling back, and I would just like have to mute my entire team just because I didn't feel like hearing it.
And mind you, for those out there who play other games and other video games, like we'll say like first-person shooters like Call of Duty and stuff like that, where they, back in the day, used to joke around, say like, "Oh yeah, you had that 12-year-old that'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go hook up your mom later. You suck." Blah blah blah.
The good old Xbox Live chat days.
it's not the same, because at least that you're like, okay, whatever. I just
Really,
leave the
yeah.
lobby, I'm get the roll, whatever, get into another game. Where
Or it's
League of
super easy to
Legends,
mute them. Yeah.
yeah, League of Legends, it took you like 20 minutes to find a game. You finally get into the game, you get the spot, you're playing the spot for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you got this guy just trolling because he just hates the fact that you're playing the lane he wants to play. And
Yep.
and for that, it's just not fun. And it's why I gave up the game, was because it's not that I didn't enjoy myself. There was times for sure when I was annoyed and irritated because they were screwing around too much, or we weren't getting support where we needed it to be, but
Yeah.
I think the worst that came to me was I had a guy who was my support completely leave my lane as an ADC to go help top when no communication was going on. And it was just like, okay, like, you're just leaving me to just go help your buddy out. And even the mid lane and everybody was just like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So
And if you tell someone like, oh, this is my first time playing this champion or whatever, I even remember I even remember like if I whenever, and this would just be me, but like I'd play normal games, not ranked games, normal games where someone would be doing bad, someone would start yelling at, and the person would be like, this is only like my second or third time playing this champion, and people would jump them like, why are you in a normal game if you've never played this champion before? And I'm like, because take it from someone who, and this is what I do to avoid that. Whenever I do want to play a new champion, I do like 5-10 games versus AI to try to get used to the champion. But I hate playing against AI because they're terrible and they don't do strategy or anything. And so learning against AI is terrible. But because of how toxic people get, if you admit that you've never played a certain champion before, or it's like only like your second or third time, I have to play AI just so I don't have to deal with people. And then people versus AI games. I remember a game where everyone's crushing it, right? Because it's AI, and one teammate was like 4-2 because it was like 10 minutes into the game, and somebody went, "Dude, it's normal AI. How have you died twice?" And I'm like, "What? Seriously, it's AI. We don't even get points for this."
that's the thing, though. People just they take stuff so serious. They're not even ranked. They're not playing ranked. They're not streaming. They're not professionals. I mean, it would make sense if you're Double Lift or one of those guys who are playing for Cloud9 or TFS or something like that. And this is a community that has a professional gaming set up around it. But the problem is these people are not professionals, and they think that they are. And it's like, bro, you're in bronze 5 with me. Like, you're in the lowest tier you can get before you go like unranked. Like, there shouldn't be any reason that you're complaining right now. And
Yeah.
the only people I can understand are the people who are like on the on the brink of getting ready to get out of like some poor rank. They're on the brink. They have 2 games won, and they just have to win that last game to get out. And all of a sudden, you have this troll who decides he wants to go AFK halfway through the game because his mom told him it's dinner time.
Yeah, or someone like, you're 10-15 minutes into a game and somebody goes, "Oh, hey, by the way, I got food on the way, so I'm going to be leaving in like 10 minutes." And it's like, why would you join a game that on average takes 40 minutes?
Yeah.
And so again, both of us have admitted we haven't played this game in years.
Now, I do want to kind of sandwich this toxicity, though. I kind of want to make a sandwich out of it because there is some positives to the game. There is fun aspects.
Oh, yeah.
That cosplaying that comes out of this game is unreal, because some of these people just take it to a whole new level, which is amazing and good for them for doing such. There's a strong support behind it, and Riot puts out a good game. But to be honest, there's also the nerfing and buffing of characters are random. I mean, it's never like, okay, this person needs buffed and this person needs to be nerfed because obviously they're way too powerful. No. You put a brand new character out and he's automatically buffed out the ass, and then you have a guy who's nerfed who doesn't deserve to be nerfed because nobody's really using him, for one. And the other side of the coin too is that you have spaghetti code all over the place where like some guy's shooting at you, you automatically like you're gonna dodge something, and all of a sudden it glitches for a minute and then it hits you.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, what's that? So
yeah, and again, if you're listening to this and League has changed in the last couple of years, in the last like year or two, we admitted we haven't played this game in a year, and by far we're not the only examples of people being turned away from League or other various toxic fandoms we'll try to explore. And a lot of these things, like I said, we're not going to have firsthand experience, and some of these toxic fandoms we go into at a later date are just going to be stuff we try to get stories from of people dealing with things. And you get, and a part of it I'll put on Riot because from what I remember, again, it could have changed, but from what I remember, Riot was terrible on policing actual reports. I reported countless people in my day and don't remember ever like seeing or hearing anything from Riot that like, hey, we received your report and decided to ban the person or,
but
whatever.
To be fair too, at the same time, you have people who have 2 or 3
it's not hard to make accounts.
2 or 3 emails, so all you got to do is just turn around and be like, "Oh, I got this email."
New account, yeah. But yeah, that's what sucks. But it's like at least it would. I think if Riot at least took a more advanced or more aggressive stance and like policing it a little bit, like I know I could easily get multiple accounts, but like if my main account got banned, that I have like tons of champions like where I paid for skins or whatever, like. I'm not made of money, so like that stuff would piss me off. And for the most part, the vast amount of people that are the toxic people in League are people who have all their money into one account. Like they have multiple accounts, but all their money is pretty much tied to one account.
Yeah.
But not only that, but like Riot, again, I know other companies have done this, and I don't think it's anything that's not allowed. I mean, maybe it's not. I don't really know. But can't you ban by IP address, or is that not allowed? I don't know how that works.
I don't think it's allowed, because they might affect something else with the IP address. But I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, I remember Xboxes. Used to be able to ban Xboxes. Like a person could fully get their Xbox like banned for like I remember. What was it called? Basically like router jumping or whatever they called it, where like you would stop somebody's router and like mid game and it would make you like glitch for a minute and then all of a sudden you could kill a bunch of people. And it was just like, so the fact of the matter is that the bot, like you're right, Riot needs to learn a better way of policing people without going overkill on it. And
yeah, like there's ways to juggle it a little bit without having it be like as crazy. I mean, there's a lot of toxic things like but I don't know. I mean, I guess it's going to see if it'll be interesting to see because there's something I wanted to mention this earlier. We don't want to dive into it, but someone who like Twitch has started to like crack down on hot tub metas because it's turning Twitch into like a toxic community. So they went after the biggest hot tub streamer because she tweeted about it. And Twitch took away, if she says she's doing a hot tub stream, she can't show any ads on her platform. So she'll make no money from ads. So you can still sub to her and give her money or whatever, but they took away ads because they're trying to like, again, it's just one of those things where there's over policing and then there's, like, where's that kind of like, where's the like the level, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
where's the line that you're going to cross
yeah.
and where is it? I mean, we've talked about this before with the hot tub ads and stuff like, or the hot tub streams, that it's just basically it's a get rich quick thing. It's kind of like doing an OnlyFans without having to put yourself nude out there. I mean, it makes no sense to me, personally, but that doesn't take away from the fact that me and Mark talked about doing a shirtless podcast. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, we got to make money. I mean, how else are we supposed to make money? There's clearly only one key way that's working for everything.
So, but no, I mean, to get back to it, I mean, the bottom line is that if you like the MOBA games and you want to play more and you want to play League, because there is a great community out there that does like to play League. Our bottom line is just don't be toxic about it. Like, there's people who are learning, there's people who want to learn how to play a game, and people who want to just enjoy themselves playing the game. And and for you to come in and act the way you people do sometimes, it's not appropriate. It's not fun. It takes away from growing a community. And the whole point of fandoms are you want people to enjoy the fandom with you. You don't want them to leave the fandom behind.
Yeah, because there's a very key difference between like trash talking for fun in a game, and then like outwardly telling someone to like delete the game because they're having, because again, you don't
One
know.
bad game.
Yeah, like it's a bad game, or even if they're just bad at the game. I mean, I'm sorry, but I can't think of any pro game player that booted up game one and was like, oh, I went 30-1. Maybe I can make a career out of this. No, like it took work and practice. And I mean, there's a reason why like Counter-Strike pro players legit know, like they know the reaction time between if I right click to start to zoom in, how many, they know like down to the millisecond, how many seconds it takes them to left click and do like a quick like scope shot. You know, they know exactly like, oh, if I throw my grenade here, it's going to bounce this way, which will then bounce that way. Like they literally will practice a single grenade throw dozens of times to see where it bounces.
Well, I mean,
so it's like
League players are the same way for the professionals out there. I mean, those guys don't sit around and bless me, go around and just sit around and eat pizza and hang out all day. No, these people are actually have like a team practice throughout the days. They actually have the setups, because I got to witness 1,000 Thieves do their stuff when we worked at Quicken, and it was interesting to watch the different practice that they have going on. Yeah. So the bottom line is, don't be toxic. Just show support to people in the within your fandom that are new.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, like I said, we don't want to have this be like a constant segment, but like we did feel like, you know, what sets us apart is we want to dive into why people get so passionate about things versus, you know, obviously just covering things, because we'll have our own opinions on things, but there's always a deeper reason behind something, and we want to dive into that deeper reason. So we want to start doing periodic segments on, you know, not just toxic fandoms, but specific fandoms as well. But we wanted to start with League of Legends as a toxic fandom, just because it's something that we both held dear, and we know from stories with friends like that this isn't like an uncommon experience. Like League is notoriously known for just having a terrible community based around it. You know, obviously, like Devon said, there's good people, and I've had games where people were like, we're doing what they could to help, like, hey, sell this item, buy this one instead, or, you know, hey, if you're using your Q, make sure to use your E, you know, like right after, because it combos, you know, like, you know, I've had matches like that where people have helped me get better characters, but, you know, it's the reputation the game has, you know, and we're going to try to dive into future stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I know it's a little bit of a shorter episode today, but again, like we've said earlier, me and Devon are, you know, switching the show to, you know, a few less interviews, unless it's a guest that really dives into, you know, the nerdier, you know, realm of fandoms, you know, a little bit. So we're going to be doing more stuff like this. We got some pretty cool stuff the rest of the month. Thanks to you guys to give everybody who's supporting the show a quick shout out. Last month was the best month we've ever had in terms of numbers. So, you know, we're going to keep improving and keep growing. Devon's got a quick thing he's got to do at the end, so I'm going to wrap up for you guys, and then we're going to have Devon do a promo for our first ever sponsor, Ziggy Dice, which Devon will go into in a second. But obviously, if you've made it this far, please go ahead and make sure you hit subscribe on whatever platform you're doing it. It does help out a lot. Every you subscribe, make sure you go back and play past episodes, you know, like check out different stuff. If you do want to follow us, Facebook and Twitter, both at Fandom Effect. We're not super active on Twitter. We're mostly active on Facebook, but we're active on both. Once we reach 500 follows on Facebook, we're going to create a group so you guys can all have a place you can come together and like talk about different things you're a part of and like help other people be passionate about the things that you're passionate about. If you do want to help support the show in any way, like our current Patreon members are with Ryan, Randy, and James, there's a couple different ways you can help. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/fandom podcast, and you can go ahead and help us out through there. Or you can go to our Patreon at obviously patreon.com/Fandom Effect podcast. We have like different tiers, and different tiers give you different things. So we're going to be upgrading those soon as well, like I've mentioned. If you do want to follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Bushido Geek, or on Instagram at Bushido Geek Cosplay, which I think my Instagram got locked or something, so I have to get it back so I can be active on Instagram again. But there's various different platforms. New episodes every Friday, bonus episodes every other Tuesday. Devon, you want to take it away with our new sponsor?
Yeah, so I do want to give a shout out to our new sponsor, Zicky Dice. For those who don't know who the most outlandish entertainer is in anything, it's Mr. Ziggy Dice. He is the most sexiest lizard out there and can be found on his Twitch channel and on Twitter at Zicky Dice. Now, Zicky Dice does like to run his different TV shows and creations throughout his Twitch channel. I know that tonight he will be running a little bit of a dating show, but we also have had fun with gaming and wrestling and emo bingo night was a great time the other day. So not only is he a wrestler, not only is he the most outlandish entertainer out there right now, he is also a lover of the Phantom Effect show. So we just want to give a quick shout out to Zicky Dice. Please go check him out. Back to you, Mark.
Yeah. And same thing, it's his Twitch, right? That's his main one, his twitch.tv/Ziggy Dice. But yeah, like I said, we are planning to do some pretty cool stuff. Like was mentioned in previous episode, we're pushing back the date of doing the live reading of a Star Wars: A New Hope for charity. We're still going to do it. We just realized that we kind of like bid on a huge project and we're going to try to like shove it in a short period of time. And then we're like, no, we need to scale back. So we're still going to do it.
We got Force Lightning out of it. So
we're still doing it. We're just going to push it back a couple of weeks so we can really like figure out what charity we want to do, how we want to do this. So we can really try to raise money for people out there and to find things that they're at and pretty much just help other people. But like I said, new episodes every Friday, bonus episodes every Tuesday. We still plan on doing why Ash Ketchum is the worst Pokemon trainer of all time next week, hopefully. We have everybody lined up. Worst case, if we do have to push this next month, everybody, I apologize. We shouldn't have to, but it's always nice to pre-warn you guys. I'd hate to promise something, without giving you guys any warning. But I got a lot of cool segments. Make sure you check out Ziggy Dice. If you do have somebody that you want us to interview, let us know. Or if you have a topic you want us to dive into, let us know. Be more than happy to dive into what you guys think is something that you'd like to hear more of an in-depth look on. And make sure you play back last week's episode on the Resident Evil franchise that me and Devon dove into a little bit. And other than that, that's going to do it for me, the Bushido Geek and the Dreamy Kong. And we will see you guys on the very next edition of the Phantom Effect podcast, where when you find one fandom, 3 more will rise to join it. And we'll see you guys next time.
Run credits. So what's up, everybody? I just want to give you a quick heads up. Me and Mark will be doing this every Sunday at 8 o'clock. You can go ahead and check us out. If you don't have a chance to watch us live on Sundays, we are also releasing episodes every Friday and sometimes on Tuesdays. If you do like our show and you want to check out some other cool shows that we do have on the Scene Snobs Network, please check out all the different things we have available to you. The Jeff Dwoskin show, he's coming live from Detroit. We have Focused Forward is another great one. And we got the PVD podcast. We actually have the Scene Snobs podcast. All sorts of cool ones going. So we do want you to go ahead, check those out. And we'll see you guys around. Thank you. See ya.